Hey, Gundam Maniacs, welcome to another episode of Gundam Explained. For today's episode, we're actually continuing our look in 08MS Team, even though, yes, we saw the last episode and like the kind of epilogue and then the Alice Miller's report where we kind of looked more into Shiro, but there was another animation that came out and it's a little more modern and it has the same voice actors. So yeah, let's take a look. But before we get started, if you haven't, please subscribe and check the links in the description. There's a giveaway going on, so be sure to join that. Join our Discord. We have a Gunpla building contest going on and a community build going on. Just a lot of stuff. If you have any questions about it, just let me know in the Discord. But yeah, let's get started. So this is called Mobile Suit Gundam, the 08MS Team, Battle in 3 Dimensions. Why is it called Battle in 3 Dimensions? Well, I have a guess, and as we get through the video, I'll bring that up. Just like you'd expect from any official Gundam production, we have the Sunrise logo, so you know this is going to be real. Okay, it includes that stinger music we all know and love, and the name of the title right here. Gundam Wiki says Battle in 3 Dimensions. This is a battle with the 3rd dimension. Kind of interesting, but yeah, let's see. First of all, look at this jungle artwork. 2013 is when this was produced for a Blu-ray box set of 08MS Team. So that's far removed from the original release of 08MS Team. So it's really nice that we are getting kind of an updated look. And this is a great shot right here. This could be a wallpaper. In fact, let me screenshot it. All right, so another thing we're noticing, not only are maybe the matte paintings or whatever is used in the background very highly detailed, we've got parallax already. We've got the foreground a little blurred. We're seeing that desert GM type, so off to a good start. Okay, and so while this has the original voice actors from the Japanese animation, it's only in subtitles that we have English. They didn't use English voice actors for this. So that's different than what English speakers are used to with 08MS Team. I think one of the key elements that made that successful was the great English dub. But of course, Michel writing in his journal to BB, just kind of very cool that we're jumping right into what we know from 08MS Team. You know, something to keep in mind is the time frame this takes place in. We're going to see Shiro in his EZ-8. Elidor isn't actually in this, so he could still be at the hospital. So we have Sanders and Michel in the hover tank, Shiro and Karen out in their mobile suits. And what's also neat about this is, in the original 08MS Team, it's not like we got a lot of back and forth between Michel and Sanders, really. Sometimes there's some characters that really talk to each other more than others. What this does is establish more of a relationship between Michel and Sanders, and it's actually very well done. Right now, they're kind of quiet. Michel's thinking to himself, like, he doesn't know how to act in front of Sanders or what he should do to kind of get him to open up. At the same time, Sanders is kind of feeling the same way. He doesn't know how he should be acting to get Michel to open up so they can have a conversation. So I think that's a kind of a cool character element they added in here. And they showed Karen in Shiro. Again, it looks just like the art we all know and love from 08MS Team, but just updated enough where it makes me just want them to make another 08MS Team series. It probably wouldn't have Shiro in it, but it could have the 08MS Team with a new commander. I don't know. Okay, and part of this with their mission is they're trying to find the base where the Obsolus is. So again, this is after Shiro gets his EZ-8, so he's been reprimanded. He's been confined to his quarters, but I guess he's able to go out on these missions. So this is before the Shuddering Mountain Part 1. 08MS Team always did a good job of showing close-ups of mobile suits. Here's an example. They're always showing the feet walking, but this is so if you want to kind of look at this and compare it to how it looked in the 90s animation. But I think they did a great job of making this look modern for 2013, but also keeping it in line with what we'd expect from the original 08MS Team. All right, cool shot here. So they're on this bridge looking for the base the Obsolus is in, and it looks like someone has found them. Very cool. So we're seeing that Gouf test flight type cockpit turn on just then, and something's about to get uncovered. That is a Zaku 2. So that is not the Gouf flight type that we saw from the cockpit. So we can see Karen already got hit. That was from the MS-06JC Zaku 2. So here we see this Gouf flight type zoom on in over the water. Pretty sick. It's got the thrusters for it. Let's see some more. Battling in the 3rd dimension. My guess is it has to do with the fact that this is kind of a ground-centered, ground-focused sort of a Gundam show battle that happened here. And we have this flight type Goof that we did see in the original show. It just didn't fight. It was escorting the Obsolus. But this time it's in a fight. And because it's a flight type, it can maneuver around these ground Gundams. So they're going to have to think on their feet in order to take it down. But I'm sure that's where Battle in the Third Dimension comes from. Sick shot here because it just came out of nowhere, jumped to be right in front of the sun in order to make it hard for the OITMS team to see it. But just cool seeing that red mono eye, seeing the propulsion systems. It's just a really cool suit. And so we're introduced to the enemy pilot here. His name is Kukov. All right, some background of Kukov. He's the team leader of a Xeon mobile suit unit assigned to ambush incoming Earth Federation forces from attacking Xeon secret base in Southeast Asia. Kukov commanded his team on the ground with his aerial MS Gouf Flight Type covering the sky in shallow water. Kukov was calm and level-headed, as shown with his systematic attack against Federation targets. He was confident with his piloting skills and the power of his mobile suit, as he didn't panic against the powerful and well-armored Gundam EZ-8. Kukov was a highly skilled mobile suit pilot, evident with his fine maneuvering technique with the Gouf Flight Type in the sky and hovering above water. He was quick to react, being able to move his mobile suit out of dangerous situations. In addition, he was also a marksman, scoring accurate hits against enemy mobile suits. And at this point, Karen is knocked out, which is super disappointing. I was kind of reading something that could have to do with the voice actor wasn't available, perhaps, so they kind of planned the story around that. I don't know. And so we have this point of view in the cockpit of that JC type Zaku 2, and it's actually aiming on the bridge. So it's kind of cool to see the Zaku 2 used in this tactical manner. Really cool to see kind of this cockpit view again. This is within the EZ-8. I don't know how consistent cockpit views have been throughout the series of Gundams, but we can see where he's aiming somewhere in the mountain. We can see that Zaku JC type sitting there, and it pops up that it's out of range. And something that's just funny about that to me is I had just been playing Gundam Battle Operation 2. I forget what suit I was exactly, but I was aiming at an enemy that was kind of far away from me, and it was just out of range. And I was like, really? So some of these weapons can just be out of range, and we can see that happening in the show. So it kind of brings that consistency. Michel and Sanders are out going to rescue Karen, pull her out of the mobile suit. Right here, we're seeing real quick where the Gouf Flight Type is coming in on the EZ-8, and the EZ-8's actually turning over to kind of block the others from getting shot. But I guess that backpack kind of serves as some extra armor. Okay, that was cool. Just then we saw how the knee extended, went into the ground to kind of give it support for it to fire its gigantic gun. So we saw just then where that JC Zaku 2 shot the EZ-8, and it didn't really do any damage. Now, I'm not too sure exactly what it was, but just reading the wiki, it could be this 175mm recoilless rifle. It's the main gun of the HT-01B Magella attack main battle tank. It is remodeled as an MS artillery weapon. It was mainly used for long-distance ground combat, so that makes sense, and can be loaded with high-explosive anti-tank or armor-piercing, fin-stabilized, discarding Sabat rounds. Never heard of that, but we can see that the EZ-8 didn't really suffer any damage, so that's pretty interesting. And the cannon of the EZ-8 completely took out that JC Zaku 2 completely. And again, right now, the tactics being used by the Gouf Flight Type is to use its air superiority as an advantage. It's really just flying around Shiro. It's making it hard for Shiro to move quickly enough in his ground-type mobile suit to get a shot off. And Michel and Sanders, are kind of stuck with less desirable weaponry. Sanders says, though, we have to come up with a plan. Michel's a little scared about it, but then something comes to him. So Michel flings himself off the bridge they're on with a wire or harness or some sort of rope to keep him from falling. This way he can get a clear view of the Gouf Flight Type and be able to communicate with Shiro where it's at so he can get a shot. So here's kind of an example of that. We're seeing the Gouf move so fast that you can see Michel kind of through it. And because Michel's trying to keep an eye out for it so he can let Commander know. Shiro dropped that backpack storage container off the back of the EZ-8, used its thrusters to propel itself up and actually latch onto the flight type in air. So we can see, even though the EZ-8's like a ground-based unit, and in fact it's a rebuilt Gundam, so they had to use some, I guess, random parts they found around. It still has some sort of maneuverability that it can use in ground-based combat that is effective. So when they fell in the water, I thought it was going to be deep, but it's actually pretty shallow. So it's kind of cool that we can see them kind of fighting, but in some, shallow water. And as the Gouf Flight Type tries to get away from Shiro, it's going backwards. The thrusters that it has on its legs start malfunctioning from being in the water. So that's very interesting, just in terms of how it's built for that maneuverability, but it has to be careful being in water. This is something that we see GIFs of all the time. I guess if you frequent Reddit or some other Gundam communities, yeah, this one's shown often. Really cool shot here. So I don't know if it's slow motion for a second or what, but we see like the water droplets above kind of floating around. Just a really cool shot of the EZ-8's face. I just love it. It has that classic Gundam look where above like the mouthpiece, it kind of has those little geometric shapes before going to the eye. Yeah, very classic. Love the idea of it not having a V-fin because they had to like refit things on it. All right, and then that blade of the Gouf Flight Type going right into the shoulder of the EZ-8 very easily. I don't remember if we saw damage related to that in some way or they just repaired it. Because again, this was made later, and beam saber blade right through the cockpit. Again, some cool art it's showing again, but I think they made that chin part a little bigger than it's supposed to be. Cool night shot. Ground Gundam, Karen, back to normal, standing on the shoulder. So here we have again where Michel and Sanders are trying to connect with each other, trying to figure out something, and Michel's just talking to himself. Sanders offers a cigarette, and Michel's like, no, I'm too young for that. I can't do that. And then that kind of makes Sanders a little embarrassed, and he kind of just walks out. Michel feels bad because he knows he was just trying to connect with him, so he grabs his coffee, heads out with him, and they kind of chill. And what's cool, just to tie it together, you see like Shiro in his cockpit, just reading his manual or whatever, and looking down and seeing, two of his team members socializing. And so I think that's kind of a good feeling for a commander. And a nice ending, moving up past the Gundam to the moon. Cue the ending theme song. All right, and that was it. It's a short but cool additional story to fit right into 08MS Team. In fact, I should really look up where I would fit this in within the main story. It was before Shuddering Mountain for sure. Karen's Gundam didn't have the GM head yet. So it's kind of cool though that we have this extra content, just like with the Miller report. It's just this extra content that kind of fleshes out 08MS Team. It's just cool to see Michel and Sanders kind of get along like that. Anyway, so what'd you think of it? Was it cool that they kind of made this little short, and should they do that more? I kind of think so, and they kind of are if you think about Kukuru's Doan's Island of the original Mobile Suit Gundam, and a story that takes place within the main story, just kind of expanding on the universe and everything. But yeah, let me know what you think. Please subscribe, like if you think this is cool, and remember to check out the description for the links of the giveaway that's going on to join the Discord for not only the Gunpla building contest, but the community build, which is something that's wing related, something related to Gundam Wing. So anyway, thanks for watching, and we'll talk later.